Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Drew back again with another video for all you American soccer fans out there. And in this video, we're going to talk about two transfer rumors that seem to be circulating around the MLS world. Be sure you guys stick around to the end of the video. So if you guys enjoyed it, be sure you hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button as well, especially if you want to help soccer grow here in America and get the respect it deserves. Let's get to it. Like I said, there's two transfer rumors circulating around the MLS world right now. And let's talk about the first one because it's already been debunked, but I figured why not talk about it since it seems to be kind of, intense news almost. And that was the transfer rumor about Daniel Sturridge possibly having talks with DC United. Now, when I first saw this, I think it was on Wednesday, I read it and I was like, yo, this is insane. Daniel Sturridge, first of all, my first thought was, heck no, because this man of glass cannot keep healthy to save his life. That was a little rude, but we'll get to that in a second. So that was my first thought when I saw that. And then a couple hours later, it was confirmed by a soccer insider that this deal is off the table, that he did have an offer from DC United. Apparently, he has 13 offers right now. And since now he's a free agent, he's obviously considering all his options to see where he can play for his new season coming up. So when I saw DC United, I was like, dude, heck no, please don't ever come to MLS. I mean, if he was nice and healthy, of course we'd take him in a heartbeat. He's not that old. He's around 30 years old. He's still got a lot of game time. But the only thing really weighing him down and what's really preventing other Premier League teams from trying to acquire Daniel Sturridge is that he is very, very injury prone. Okay, that's literally the whole big thing, the whole big debacle about Daniel Sturridge. That's the thing everybody knows about him. Number one, he's super, super injury prone, like I said, made of glass. Number two, he never really turned out to be that world class of a striker as many in England really thought he was going to be. Probably just another English player who seemed to be good. The English people are just hyped up. And then he just failed at the end, like usual. I just wanted to get that one out of the way because it seemed to be coming into a big story, but then, and it seemed to be almost a possibility at one point, but then it got debunked, and I was like, you know what, that's not going to happen, and I'm glad it didn't, because that would have been a big liability for DC United. I think the reason he did reject DC United, I think the reason that those negotiations fell off is because his contract, or his wage offers were way too much, and DC was like, F that, man. We're not going to pay you that much if you're going to play one game and get injured. Know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the next transfer rumor, that being one that I think has a really big possibility of actually happening next season in MLS. That, of course, you guys probably already know if you saw the thumbnail, being Edinson Cavani coming to Inter Miami. Now, Inter Miami is not playing their first inaugural season until next year, until next season, I should say, the 2019/2020 season. And man, that is going to be lit because David Beckham wants to make a big impression, a big statement for his first season with Inter Miami in MLS, and signing Edinson Cavani as one of the best, as probably your starting striker and your first signing ever would be one of the biggest statements you can make in MLS history. I'd go as far as say that. Okay, in MLS history, that's a big statement. Now, when I saw this report a couple days ago, I was kind of skeptical. So I was like, no way Edinson Cavani want to come here. First of all, he was lighting it up in Italy, in Serie A, and then, he got shown some nice cha-ching from PSG, and a lot of people thought that he kind of just sold out and went to PSG for the money. And he did go to PSG back in 2013, so he has been there for 6 years, where he has scored 135 goals in 187 appearances for PSG. And that is an insane record. This guy is scoring almost every single game PSG plays in. He actually scored in their first game this season already over the last weekend. But as you know, all good things come to an end. So his contract with PSG does end at the end of this current season. This new season that started a couple days ago. This is going to be possibly his final season with PSG. And David Beckham was kind of alerted to that. And he was like, you know what? This guy's out of contract. We could get him for free on a free transfer and make him the first, the first inaugural player for Inter Miami for their inaugural season in MLS. How perfect would that be? By the time his contract expires at PSG, Edinson Cavani will be 33 years old. And I'd go as far and say that, 33 years old, while it might seem old, I feel like it's not as old as it used to be. You know, some players seem to be really stayed in shape, still at the age of the 30s. You know, even in their late 30s, I'd say. I mean, look at Zlatan. You know, a lot of people thought he would be nothing right now. He's like 37, 38 years old, and he's still tearing it up here in MLS. And I'm pretty sure he could tear it up in other leagues as well. But it depends on the player, okay? Like players like Ronaldo, Messi in their 30s, but they're still fucking lighting it up. But players also like Wayne Rooney, really not cut out in his older age for the big league. That's why he probably came here to kind of slow the tempo down. But I think Edinson Cavani could be one of those players who does succeed even well into his 30s. You know, he is one of the most clinical strikers in the world still. He scored hundreds of goals throughout his career, almost 50 goals in his Uruguayan national team career. This guy is a goal scoring machine, and I can only really I can't even fathom how many how many goals he could actually score here in MLS. See, I'm getting all my words mixed up just thinking of the thought of Edinson Cavani scoring 10 goals in one game for Inter Miami. You know, obviously that's going to depend on the rest of his team that David Beckham puts together, but what I think is a good sign for all you Inter Miami fans out there is that if David Beckham is able to go and acquire Edinson Cavani, that might help David Beckham and Inter Miami try to lure in more players of more stardom. You know, players of bigger names, players who of good quality, because they were like, you know what, Edinson Cavani's here. You know, he's not that old. He's still in good shape. He's still scoring goals like crazy. And he's coming here to MLS. Like, this might be a new change and a new way to go. Like, forget going to the Middle East. Forget going to China. Like, people forget about you when you go over there. But if you come to MLS, yeah, people make fun of the league. But I feel like you're more marketable here and you're more broadcasted still. Like, if you go to, like, here's an example. Xavi from FC Barcelona left Barcelona a couple years ago, back in 2015, I believe. And he went to, I think, a Qatar league, and I totally forgot about him. Andres Iniesta, one of the biggest players in the world, again from Barcelona, went to Japan, and I've kind of forgot about him too. You know, players like that who go to those kind of leagues, they don't really get broadcasted much. And I'm not trying to diss those leagues by any means. You know, I think it's cool. Those leagues have lots of big name players, but the only bad thing is I feel like they don't get the recognition. They don't get like the broadcasting rights. Like, no one really gets to see that league unless you're going and finding the stream online or trying to find highlights. Like, but I feel like MLS is broadcasted in more countries than those leagues are. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't do my research. It's just from personal experience. But anyway, back to the topic. I think if Edinson Cavani has a good team around him, Inter Miami definitely could be one of the best teams in MLS, and especially in terms of scoring. There could be a team who actually can outscore LAFC, who is literally scoring like 60 plus goals already this season. The number one goal scoring team in MLS. This video is not about that. You know what I just remembered? Back when I made the video about players who I think should possibly come to MLS, I was looking at players who were mostly out of contract. That way MLS could get them on a free. And one of those players on the list, obviously, was Daniel Sturridge. And I just watched that video, me talking about Daniel Sturridge comes to MLS, hoping he does, because saying he's a world-class striker, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking back, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I think I was just looking at a free transfer list, and I was like, ooh, that's a big name, Daniel Sturridge. And I just put him on my list and talked about him. And now I feel like a freaking idiot, because look at me now. More matured, more seasoned. I'm like, dude, this guy would not last a couple games in MLS. Not in terms of quality. He's good quality when he's fully fit. But because he's made of glass, he really wouldn't be able to play the whole season. That would be a big liability for literally any team in the world. That's why he's having trouble finding another team. I'm so dumb. Alright, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below on these two transfers. You know, whether or not you think they would have been good here for MLS. And especially on the Edinson Cavani one. I want to know your thoughts on whether or not you think he could be a goal-scoring machine here in MLS. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for kicking it with me. And I'll see you next time. Peace.